Tarzan was supposed to be a direct-to-DVD movie from a different division within Disney. Jeffrey asked me to do it. At that time, it was going to be direct-to-DVD, and I said, sure. I mean, it wasn't as prestigious a movie as Hunchback was, but how often do you get to write Tarzan? I mean, that character.
Somewhere something is calling for you. Two worlds, one family.
I turned in a treatment for Tarzan, and I didn't hear anything. And I was like, I didn't hear anything. I was like, that's kind of weird. So I'm like, starting to wonder if they hated it or what. Well, word got back to me that they liked it so much that they were trying to get it away from the DVD division to the feature and move it over to the feature division. The very first draft I wrote, he did. He went to England. And that was a decision. I think the directors realized that the real story, the heart of the story, was on the island. So we got him off the island on the boat, but he didn't have to go all the way to England. And he, you know, and his family was in danger, and it was much more heroic for him to go back, rescue, you know, in that moment. So yes, we did fool around a little bit with the original story, but I think it plays a lot better keeping it contained, you know, on the island. And then it was really Jane who decides to stay, rather than Tarzan going off to England with her. So it was a little bit of a reversal, but yeah, it worked out great. That was another great, I think, directorial choice, was to have them fall through, and then then it becomes silent.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you see the spots come up and you go, oh my gosh.
What do you think that added to the plot? He was like the first small villain in the movie, the leopard. That was maybe...
No, that's when he became a man.
No.
That's when he became not the Jungle Boy, but the Jungle Man.
Yeah.
That's when he, you know, in the eyes of the rest of the gorillas, and especially in the eyes of Kerchak, he became a member of that tribe, of that clan. And so, yeah, he became a man, and he also became, in their eyes, one of them. It's a creative way of showing somebody get hung without actually showing it.
Yeah, it's really, but it's,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a kid can watch that and he gets an impression of it without it being too graphic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's.
So I thought it was brilliant. You know, a little flash of lightning, and then you see the shadow of him hanging. You know what happened? Most Disney villains die.
Yeah, that's.
Most Disney villains die.
Not all of them on screen.
Yeah, not always on screen, but they pretty much, it's almost like a trope. It's almost like a story trope that the villain is going to get their comeuppance, and usually that translates to their death somehow, some way. With Clayton and Tarzan, Tarzan didn't kill him. Nobody killed him, but his own evilness, his own greed, his own, villainy
killed him. Yeah.
That's often how Disney does it.
Yeah.
The villains end up dying almost by their own hand in a weird sort of way.
Yeah.
You have to understand too that there's a limit. There's a limit in terms of your audience of what you can actually show with regard to violence or sex or darker themes, any of those things. You have to service the Disney brand. That is always hanging over any project they do. Even though, for instance, on Hunchback, I was very much encouraged to explore the darker themes of that story, and they encouraged me to just push the envelope. And they said, "Look, we'll take care of, if you've gone too far, we'll let you know.
Okay.
But we don't want you to censor yourself at this point. We want you to go for it, and then we'll decide if it's too dark or if it's too edgy, and we'll pull it back, you know.
Stay with me, fellas. I feel something happening here.
The directors wanted to do some sort of fun musical number in the middle. They've done some heartfelt ones with, earlier with Tarzan and his mother, and, they wanted to just have fun, and so they conceived of this idea of the guerrillas basically trashing the camp of the white men that had come onto the island, and it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Phil Collins, he did the music for Tarzan. He also did the music for another movie I wrote, Brother Bear. So, I mean, it's funny because you wonder what inspires these musicians, and I'm proud to say that I think a lot of my scripts inspired him. I mean, I went to an awards banquet I sat next to Phil, and we talked about it a little bit. That's the only time I really spent any time with him, but he spent a lot of time with my words, in reading the script and then kind of thinking of things. So it was funny, but like a year after, I think when Brother Bear was released, I had a friend, I was staying with a friend here in LA, and he came home in the morning and he said, "I just heard your name on the radio." I said, "What are you talking about? No writers get mentioned anywhere."
No.
I said, no, seriously. They were doing an interview with Phil Collins on the NPR, one of these radio stations, and they were talking about Tarzan and Brother Bear, and he just sang your praises. He said, "Yeah, that writer Tab Murphy and his scripts are, So I was like, wow, that was cool.
It also has like a video game. I remember playing a video game of the movie specific of Tarzan movie. So it has like.
You're not the first person that told me they played the Tarzan video game, but that's great.